Indian indigo. The indigo plant grows primarily in the tropics. By the 13th century, the Indian indigo was being used by cloth manufacturers in Italy, France, and Britain to dye cloth. However, only small amounts of the Indian indigo reached the European market and its price was very high. The European cloth manufacturers therefore had to depend on another plant called woad to make violet and blue dyes. Being a plant of the temperate zones, woad was more easily available in Europe. It was grown in northern Italy, southern France, and in parts of Germany and Britain. Worried by the competition from indigo, woad producers in Europe pressurized their governments to ban the import of indigo. Cloth dyers, however, preferred indigo as a dye. Indigo produced a rich blue color, whereas the dye from woad was pale and dull. By the 17th century, the European cloth producers persuaded their governments to relax the ban on indigo import. The French began cultivating indigo in Saint Dominique in the Caribbean islands, the Portuguese in Brazil, the English in Jamaica, and the Spanish in Venezuela. Indigo plantations also came up in many parts of North America. By the end of the 18th century, the demand for Indian indigo grew further. Britain began to industrialize, and its cotton production expanded dramatically. Creating an enormous new demand for cloth dyes. While the demand for indigo increased, its existing supplies from the West Indies and America collapsed for a variety of reasons. Between 1783 and 1789, the production of indigo in the world fell by half. Cloth dyers in Britain now desperately looked for new sources of indigo supply. From where could this indigo be procured?